What is going on, MVIS Nation? We got something very, very important to talk to you about today. It's not going to be AMC, so if you're here just for the AMC videos, please go ahead and click off unless you also own MVIS, which is, what the hell does MVIS stand for?
Ticker symbol for Microvision.
Microvision, yes. I used to report on that company until some haters that didn't believe in the word that I was spreading about MVIS started talking crap to me in the comments section, and those videos got like 300 thumbs down and about 10 thumbs up. Those 10 people that hit the freaking like button on those videos saved a lot of money. The rest of the 300 others, they probably lost a lot of money. And I'm sitting here, the reason we're making a video about MVIS today, and I've challenged other YouTubers about this topic. They challenged me, and I challenged them back. I said, hey, Jack, how about we do a freaking joint video together? What the hell? A collab? How about we do a collab? A collaboration.
Yeah.
So I'm a dumb Ike. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get my words out. But I said, how about we do a collab? Who the heck? No, I might call another YouTubers out. I said, how about we do a collab and talk about this? And you can state your argument, I'll state mine. And this man, that was another YouTuber that, you know, had a big following because of MVIS. Him and his subs got on my channel, on my page, and started talking crap. But they would not defend themselves. When I came on here and said, y'all are a bunch of idiots, y'all are a bunch of morons. Now listen, MVIS, squeeze play, sure, yeah, it may happen again. But as far as fundamentals, and that's what this other YouTuber that I'm not going to mention, his name, it starts with a J, and whatever. I'm not going to mention them, but they're talking about fundamentals of MVIS and the lidar and all of that, and it didn't quite work out. But, you know, I stopped reporting on them because people started hating, and I said, you know what, I'm going to move on, and I did. But my friend Chris here, he covers the fundamentals, and he kind of maybe believed in I don't know. Did you believe in the company at any point, Chris?
Well, I like the technology, and I like the direction. It's just a little early. It's a lot of times, you know, a lot of what I stress on my channel is, you know, we have an old rap song that's in the hood. Bands make me dance.
Right. Did they have any
bands that make them dance? And I always stress that with people. Don't get excited if they're not making money. You know, so what I do with MVIS is I cover them, and I'm neutral, and I say the good and the bad. I always get accused of spinning it, but you can't spin exactly what they say. I report on what they say,
what
and
they
I
say,
interpret
not what, yeah.
You know, I very seldom put my opinion in. I did that show, Bulls and BS, 2 1-hour videos. I said these guys are only worth $3 or $4 a share. And a lot of stuff, what we don't get credit for, is particularly with MVIS, is for the people we save. We get bashed on by the Bulls, but I was telling, you know, investors when it was trading at $18, $19, $20 a share that these guys are worth $6 at best.
At best.
This is on YouTube. This is in my phone. I've done 50 videos on MVIS. So what about those thousands of viewers that saw that material that didn't invest, that we saved?
Thank God.
So, you know, a lot of people say, hey, you just hate them, you this, you that. But I'm only telling you what Summit said to the SEC. But you mad at me because you didn't read the statements he said to the SEC. And I bring them to the light and report on them. But you're not mad at Summit. But you're mad at me. So, I mean, it is what it is. A lot of people thank me quietly. And I do this for, you know, reasons. I don't have an extra grind with them. I root for them. But if Summit comes out and says we're not selling anything for a year and a half, and then I let you know what he said, that's not me. That's them.
Is that why the share price went down to about 7?
That's what it. I mean, you know, and some of my issues with them, you know, the frustration I have, they rushed an A sample through with, you know, it was going to be done in April, and they were going to have quantities by the 4th quarter. Well, he come out in an interview and said, hey, we've changed strategies again. Because if you were in these guys originally, you went from Pico technology to the HoloLens technology to, you know, consumer lidar, and now all of a sudden you're doing automotive lidar. and then you spend all this money, and then you cashed out at 26. And the guy that cashed out at 26 in July for 90,000 shares is retiring 4 months later. You know, what kind of signal does this send? This is not twisting the truth. This is telling you, like, okay, guys, you have a new CFO coming through. And if you don't know what a CFO is, they're like the vice president. I mean, they're like the second in command. They run the money. Usually the path to a CEO runs through the CFO. So when you look at all this material and, you know, what they got going, it's like, wait a minute, what are you doing? And you changed the strategy again because you were touting quality, best in class, but now you're going cheapest in class.
Yeah.
And now you've pushed the date back, said, well, look, we're not doing anything in the fourth quarter. We'll do something next year in the second quarter.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so what happened? You know, you owe us something, and then the stock goes to fall, and they release. I follow these guys on Reddit. I get a notice every other day about MVIS. It's like, oh, the HoloLens this. Oh, look at this technology. And we're not going to say the guy's name, but everybody knows you're working for MVIS. But if it's not a financial document with a customer, stop leading these people on. So that's the frustration with these guys. I mean, I want them to do good. I won't gain 1 red cent if they go bankrupt. I don't gain 1 red cent if they take over the world. Yeah. What I do gain is an enjoyment on rooting for these guys and reporting the truth and letting everybody know what this guy is saying as it pertains to his financial documents, because I can break it down into language that you understand.
So, Chris, is it a growth company?
It is a growth company, and if everything they say, if half of what they say comes true, it's going to be a very, very good investment. However, I do not have money to park there and wait. And in fact, we've discussed this in the past. We feel like we got to the party late. I was asked to take a look at these guys. They were already trading at $14, $15 a share. So when you start to peel back the layers and look at the strategic management, I throw out ideas. I do conspiracy shows. Okay, maybe he's in this line. Maybe he's in this line. And then you go to this Munich show and you come back with people are talking to you. I'm like, are they talking deals or not? And quit sending these puppets out with these diagrams and sketches of this HoloLens when you said it yourself, you're not even going into the HoloLens. The U.S. government has put the HoloLens on pause. You don't even manufacture them. You just get royalty income. You got a $10 million advance for it that's been spent for 10 years now. So,
how old is the company, Chris?
How old are they? 25, 26 years old at this point. But that's a trick question because they've trained strategy so many times. It's not funny, Pat. This is not funny.
I apologize.
I'll tell you why it's not funny. Because if you read my emails and you've read some of the comments and some of the people are down 6 figures. People are down. I mean, this is real money. People have made really big mistakes. So that's one thing I always got to keep in mind is you have people in this company, if they're still around, that got in at $500 a share.
Yeah, that actually did happen, and we're not talking about a split. We're talking about this company was really $500 a share.
Yeah, and
I don't know how many years
you
ago.
have people with life savings in this company that's lost. So I'm real sensitive to where these people are coming from. So I make sure not to laugh at them, but I also make sure not to cheat them and tell them a lie. Because you have a CFO that's retiring, that just cashed out, that just wrote an ATM at $26 a share. I did a video back in May on this subject. I said, watch, these guys showed their hands. If you don't believe it, and I really don't like to share my channel with your viewers because they're different. They're very aggressive. But if you can take it, go back and watch that video. It's a poker hand with Sumit Sharma. And I predicted that this guy showed his hands. Him and Steve Holt cashed out. And they're going to be on the lam. And that would have been 6 months later. So you're leaving. If they are this close to finding a customer, why retire now? You're only 55. But if you gave me 90,000 shares and I sold out at 26, I could retire too. So a lot of people put heat on me for, being hard on him and thanks for his contributions. But what did you really do? You got here in 8 years. Of course, they didn't make money before you got here. You came in, you diluted the share base, and you made off like a bandit, and we're supposed to celebrate Steve Holt's retirement? No. And I challenge anybody, not none of these meme stocks. I challenge anybody who fundamentally understands finance to challenge me on that. It does not make sense. You tell me one good thing Holt did. They don't have a customer. They didn't have one before he got there. They didn't have a profit. They didn't have one before he got there. So he came in, and the financial situation has gotten worse. The shares have gotten, astronomical since he's gotten there. And these people are celebrating him. And I sit back and I say, wait a minute, your record's not good. And we're the bad guys. So no, I haven't made videos on my channel with these guys because I know the pain that a lot of the people that follow me on MVIS, I know the pain they're going through, and I'm sensitive to that, and they understand that. They know where I am, and I challenge anybody who understands this. Go get anybody who has one college class in finance to challenge me on that, and I'll come back here and I'll debate them, defend them, compare, contrast. It is wrong on all levels, and nobody disputes it.
So, Chris, what I believe you're saying is that it's not the actual company, it's not management that's responsible for the share price. I mean, I know it's fallen now, but when it was at its highs, at its peak, it wasn't management. It was the shareholders responsible for keeping that share price.
I think management, to a certain degree can not so much assume it, but I think some things can be leaked out irresponsibly. I think we can go back and look at the HoloLens shades that were leaked out. No one's going to Hobby Lobby buying those. So those were leaked out. Those were tore up. That share price went up. They issued an ATM against it. So it's just stuff like this that gets this stock price going, get the excitement going. And then these guys cash out or issue an ATM. They have an ATM that, has not been exhausted. The interview, I just did a video. My last video was covering an interview he did with Investor Class. And they asked him, say, okay, you still have some money left on this ATM. Why haven't you used it? Well, everybody knows why you haven't used it, because your share price is tanking. But then you're going to come in and say, hey, we don't need the money. We have enough money. So how is that true? But then you push back the date on when you're getting a customer to 2 quarters away. Yeah. So now we're 2 quarters back. But then you come and say you have enough money. No, you have enough money to the next rumor. Sure. Then the share price is going to go up. They're going to execute it. I'll be referring people back to this video. But at the same time, you tell us in your third quarter, quarter call, or earnings call that, okay, we're going to be ready by 2025 to have up to 25,000 units a year with our partner. But then you come back in this video with Investor Place and says, anything under $1 million won't be profitable. We have to go more. And I'm like, okay, who's going to pay for this?
Shareholders.
And who's this? So it's stuff like that they say, and they change the story. And it's channels like mine that follow and connect the dots and call you out. I'm 50 videos deep. They're all spot on. And that's just what I offer. And I'm just here to protect people. I don't hype stuff. I just protect them and I move on. So no, I don't have them. Like, I would like for them to succeed, but I also am not going to let you, tell, inexperienced investors anything, because they know if Suman Sharma does an interview or they do an earnings call with the CFO, they know full well I'll be on YouTube with the video dissecting what they just said. And is it consistent with your last quarter call? Because I pull both of them up side by side and we go fact check by fact check. So no, none of this is from me. I'm just making sure you're doing what you told the shareholders 3 months ago you're doing, and then we hold your feet to the fire. So all of this praising these guys, Sumit, fine. The board of directors, fine. But you got all of these superstars on this board, but now it's going to start to get hard to justify these salaries if they don't produce results.
Exactly.
Everybody said, oh, they got the Ford director. Oh, Google's looking. Oh, Microsoft's looking. Oh, look at these glasses. They're best in class. Well, you know what? If it's best, it ought to be selling.
It ought to be selling, but it's just not. And that's what we're trying to tell you guys.
Right. I wanted to sell, but it's not. And they're getting exactly what they deserve. So, I mean, I will cover them at one point, but you're going to have to do something that may, that's different than what we've already talked about. And I've already talked about every angle with these guys that opened up the door. We looked at scenarios. We've played with financial models. And we're just sitting back, as far as I'm concerned, on you to get a customer sign. But then you come out in your last earnings calls and say, not only do we not have samples for the fourth quarter, because this is what you've been feeding us for the prior 3 quarters. Oh, just wait till this end of the year. Wait till the fourth quarter. You're telling us this in the first. You dropped the A sample in April. Said you're going to drop samples in December. Then we get to October and you say, no, it's not going to be December. It's going to be June. And nobody bats an eye. And that's what the stuff I don't go for at all.
True. So anyways, guys, I hope that this video helps some of you guys that were or might be thinking about investing in MVIS. If you're going for something like a short squeeze, then yes, maybe potentially. But if you're going off of fundamentals or because you're believing that this lidar is the best lidar in the world or whatever the case may be.
It could be.
It could be, but we just don't know.
It could be, but until we see otherwise, don't expect anything until the second quarter. And a quarter is 3 months. I mean, that is a long time. And if you don't think a quarter is a long time, let me hold some money for 90 days. I'll give it back. So, I'm not here to trash them, but it is getting kind of hard to explain the position. And I don't think it's Summit. Maybe it's the board of directors. I think maybe, I go back and I look at who was running the company before him and even before that guy. So I think Summit could sell it today if he wanted to, but I think his hands are tied a little bit.